It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 101.9, 100.5, 1450, WGNSSports.com, and Big G TV.
We are back here on the Coach's Show, which is brought to you by Craig's Tax Service, specializing in personal and business tax preparation, financials, and bookkeeping services. Find out more about their work at craigstaxservice.com. It's that time of the year. And you know when it's that time of the year, it's also basketball's hot and heavy, unless there's an ice storm, Wendell Ingram.
Yeah. And it's cold out there today.
Yeah. Did you build a snowman?
No, but I started to cancel Saturday. I was like, man, let's go back and try it again and just go straight to Monday or something.
It's been something else, this cold weather especially, but there's not a whole lot you can do with ice. I think if we had snow, we could have been back in school maybe Thursday and Friday, but not this time.
Yeah, this one got us this time, but I guess we're lucky because I think in like West Tennessee, I think they got a lot of snow and ice and power outages and things like that. So I'm not gonna say thank God we're not them, but I don't want nobody to go through that. But
right,
man, but it's rough.
Well, we were definitely fortunate in considering other areas in the state, and still without power. Just up the road in Davidson County, Laverne even has a lot of power problems up there. But did get to, despite not being in school, I think allowing practice on Thursday made for the ability to play Friday. I don't think anybody would have played if you couldn't practice Thursday.
That was pretty much the vote. Everybody was like, hey, for us to play Friday, we needed to get in the gym on Thursday. And we was lucky enough for them to allow us to, like I said, the county did great getting those walkways cleared. Our custodial guys, man, they did great. It looks good up there right now. But if we couldn't get in there on Thursday, we had made up our mind that, hey, Friday was not going to be a go.
Coming in, winning, I have 7 in a row.
Yeah, that's what the rumor is. 7 in a row.
But all of them, the last few have been so close. Last night, a 5-point win. I think Oakland was a 5-point win. So you're learning to win. Are we going to have to bring out those Cardiac Kid shirts again?
Hey, we brought that up. I think I need to get that taken care of and get the good people to make us some. But it's just, I know a lot of people was talking about the games we won in a row. But it would be nice if we can win those at the end of February, going into March, 7 in a row, because then we're sitting on a different stage at that point.
Well, knowing that you can win the close ones. And when you have someone like our SRM Concrete Solid performer last night, Arden Lewis, 25 points, but I had him like 10 for 11 at the free throw line in the fourth quarter.
He did great. He's actually working for me right now at the concession stand at the JV game, and everybody that had Siegel's there as well playing, and everybody who walked in has looked at him and said, man, you hit those big free throws last night. He actually went back and watched the broadcast last night, and he said, oh, man, I didn't know I was 10 for 11. I said, how'd you know? And he said, they said it on the thing last night. And but, he was mad at himself because he missed one. And he said it could have been the big one. But the thing about it is, he'll be back in the gym on Monday shooting those free throws. Freshman kid, but if you look at him, he doesn't play like one. He doesn't look like one. He doesn't act like one. He's just a kid that he wants that ball at the last few seconds to be able to go and ice the game, in which he did it.
I think for him, and I talked about this the previous broadcast, to have Caleb who is a bit older, but also there are probably a lot of backyard games, and I got to, that kind of thing. Maybe bringing him along a little quicker too, younger years. I don't know how all that worked, but
it's just they all act like brothers when we're in practice, and they pick on Arden as the little brother. But man, it's a lot of them they mess with him a lot. If we're having a bad practice, Arden may come in there and take a bad shot in a transition, and they'll be like, that's why we're having a bad practice, because of you. But they'll come and hit one, and they was like, about time you hit one, So they get on each other, man. But he he's going to be a special kid. Like I say, starting quarterback. He's going to be under center as a sophomore in one of the probably the best football regions around here, and but he's not going to be scared at all.
Yeah,
nah, not him.
He a definite competitor in that young man. Your team, Wendell, you can play so many different styles, and you get hit with so many different styles too. I think your guys are more comfortable, up and down the floor using your athleticism. If you can score in the 80s, but the guys have to learn to win those grinded out games.
They do. I was talking to a referee. The game we played against Oakland, and we was shooting free throws, and he stood beside me. He said, man, you guys kind of remind me of the old Arkansas Razorbacks and Kentucky Wildcats days and things like that. But I was like, man, I don't want to be like them. I want to be kind of like your Tennessee Vols, which is my team, and being able to play defense hard and hold teams under. We don't want to go up and down on the court with teams unless it's to our advantage. But teams like Siegel last night in Oakland, they kind of get us ready for that region run to where they'll say, hey, can you close these games out? Can you be disciplined on offense, make great decisions? And last night we made some bad decisions on offense, some bad decisions on defense. But the schedule that we played beginning of the year, it allowed us to say, hey, in the huddle, we're not yelling at each other in the huddle. We're kind of like talking like, hey, come on, guys, calm down. We know what we're doing. Let's go ahead and finish it, things like that. We know Arden can hit and close out a game. Elijah came a long way with his free throws. Caleb Lewis, he fouled out last night, which is also another ball handler, and they can shoot those free throws. But trying to get guys to stay locked in and buy in. Just, good crowd environment last night. And like I told him, I said, man, there's something about a game when you see these balloons come out. It was homecoming last night for Siegel, so teams going to play a little harder. The kids have been in the house all week. They was ready to come out the house and come watch a game. So I told our guys, we're down 10-0 before the game even started. We're down 10-0. You got homecoming. You got, all the festivities that could be. You got ice out there on the ground. So you got to play like it's 10-0 right now, and that's the way we played.
Wendell Ingram with us talking Rockvale boys basketball. You came out in first quarter dynamite and had, I think, 10 or 11-point lead, and then all of a sudden you look at halftime and it's a 3-point lead and you scored 3 points.
And we had 19 points, I think, at halftime.
Yeah.
And which that's the lowest we've had since I've been at Rockvale. And so I had to go back and do some soul searching on myself too, because when I go into the locker room at halftime, I'm screaming and yelling, not basically saying the stuff that we're doing wrong. I'm screaming and yelling because we're not playing the way I envision us to play. So I had to do some soul searching and also remember that I ate too much junk food, so my blood pressure probably was up as well, so I had to calm down a little bit. So, but then I had to look at them like, hey, man, these are 14, 15, 16-year-old guys who probably the same way I laid around all week, they laid around all week. So I had to say, okay, let me step back a little bit. And how I know we're growing as a program, because the guys was walking out of the locker room, they was like, we got you, coach. We got you. And they go out there, and I think in the third quarter we get a run. We jump up to 10 a little bit, and then then we made some bad mistakes, some things like that, and they hit some big shots, and we got in foul trouble. We had to make some subs and things like that. But Siegel's a scrappy team. They're going to play great for Coach Rigsby, so we know they was going to give us their best shot.
Dallas had a very frustrating night last night, didn't he?
Dallas had a frustrating night, but man, he's on cloud nine right now because he's getting these big football offers, so it's kind of keeping him locked in a little bit. But he even said, he was like, man, I wish we played on Tuesday. I need my get back game. But I'm glad we don't play on Tuesday because we need to get back into working on some stuff, some basketball 101.
Well, you did have some good bench play last night. Seeing Buckingham for the first time, I thought he came in and gave you the sophomore gave you some big minutes.
He did great. He did great. I kind of got on him a little tough last night when he got to Tech.
Yeah.
But he knows it. He was like, man, I can't get a tech again because you don't put me back out there if I get a tech. So we don't put nobody back out there when you get a tech. But he has to learn from that, celebrating off of a layup. I asked him, I said, was that your first layup? And he's like, no, sir. I say, well, guess what? We act like you did it before. If that was his first layup, then I would have stopped the game and gave him the ball, and we'd have had a ceremony when we get back to Rockvale. But we gotta act right. We gotta act like we've been there before. That could have been a region game right there to where that's a momentum switcher right there, and we don't want to do that. I mean, not that situation.
Yeah. Others came in, and you kind of, with the flow of the game, had to put people in positions maybe they hadn't been in all year too.
So we was trying to be physical with Siegel at the beginning. Dallas gets 2 fouls. We bring in Messiah to where we tried to put now Casey's playing like it's a big role and Caleb playing a big role, and then it messes up our strategy as far as matchups and things like that. But you don't want to have to try to go to your bench within the first couple minutes of the first quarter. But we do situation stuff like that in practice. So we to work on those situations, and we just gotta stay disciplined, stay locked in.
Wendell Ingram with us talking Rockvale boys basketball. I don't have a Tuesday game on the schedule for you. You don't?
No, that was our open date. We originally was supposed to be playing Franklin at the beginning of the season, but they kind of double booked a game, so they ended up dropping us. But there was already a scheduled open day for us.
It's a good thing you played last night.
It was a great thing. If we hadn't played last night, man, it was gonna be tough, very tough. We would have probably had to have a blue-white game or something. I don't know.
Well, so next Friday, the next game at Rockvale, then at Blackman. So a couple of huge games on the road, and I guess really none bigger than that February 10th Blackman game. We get to that point, this may be, maybe a region preview or whatnot. Oakland is playing really well.
Yeah.
Riverdale, Oakland, I think you're probably a couple of wins in the win column away from maybe being the district champ.
Yeah, right now I think I try not to look at it, but I look at it by accident sometimes.
Well, beating Siegel twice helped.
I think that helped us a whole lot. And then with Riverdale losing to Oakland last night, I think it shapes out a little bit for us now to where we will be the regular season champs now.
Well, now what you have to do is continue that momentum and build some momentum. So that's
and staying healthy. That's the biggest thing. Yep. I know that flu bug is definitely going around. I take my vitamins and things like that. I guess it's vitamins, but I take something, orange juice or whatever it is. But I just try to stay healthy, man, and try to keep it for the long haul. Now, try to talk to you guys all the way up until the 3rd week of March.
Well, there are plenty of donuts in there. They've got healthy, nutritious things.
I heard that, but I'm gonna get the one without the sprinkles. The sprinkles is what makes it unhealthy.
I think that's what it is. Yeah. It's not the glaze or anything else.
No.
Well, I had fun watching your team last night, Wendell, and appreciate you coming in this morning to talk about it. We'll see you here in a couple of weeks.
Thank you, guys.
Wendell Ingram on the Coaches Show this morning, brought to you by Dan France Concrete, a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. That's Dan France Concrete.